Good afternoon, 2015 Pittsburgh Penguins Elite Hockey fans, and thank you for joining us here on Cine TV for the first game of the 2025 Buffalo Cup. Good afternoon, 2015 Pittsburgh Penguins Elite Hockey fans, and thank you for joining us here on. All right, warm-ups. We had a little bit of confusion here. They had the boys in the wrong locker rooms to start, so they had to put the skate cards back on, pack up their bags, and walk across rink number 2 here to get to rink number 1 for a special ceremonial bagpiping entrance. I'm sure that's a first for some of the boys here, probably all the boys. I don't think they've ever been walked and escorted to the ice by some bagpipes. So we have the outdoor game here to start us off. This is going to be the first game of the entire 2015 AAA Buffalo Cup. We're going to start this with a ceremonial puck drop here. And Blake Paris is going to take the draw, the ceremonial puck drop here. So this tournament's going to feature 30 teams, and everybody's been placed into, I believe, 6 different divisions. And there's a little cross-divisional round where the Pens are going to play once today, twice Friday, once Saturday, and then the playoffs are scheduled for Sunday. So we're coming to you live from the Riverworks from snowy Buffalo, New York. Now, it snowed most of the way up here, and then the snow has really started to begin to fall since most of the boys have arrived. So final preparations are underway. The rink's ready to roll. Max Dragasic's taking his spot in between the pipes. And we are ready to go here for our opening puck drop. Starting lineup for the Pens, it's center, number 93, Riker Ferguson. Left wing, number 74, Easton Borman. Right wing, Brooks Gorski on the backside, CJ Nenevisa, and number 43, Grant Loya. Opening draw is going to be one over to Easton Borman. He's going to come down the right-hand wall. He's going to stop up at the goal line here. He's centering pass, tried to connect with Nenevisa. It's going to be picked off here as the Junior Eagles out of Boston are able to slip that puck through the legs of Nenevisa. Tried to go 5-1 Max. Good save there. Alert here to open this game. 11:37 to go in the first period. Opening moments as a pass is going to be thrown up to left winger Easton Borman. Knocked off of his stick blade. He's sticking with it and looking for an option now. Loses control of that puck, but freshly on the ice, Connor Wilson is trying to bring that back through neutral. And it's going to be contested and picked up by 45 Brooks Gorski. He runs into a Junior Eagle player, still has possession. He moves it over to Owen Mulligan, knocked off of his stick. And he's going to be popped into us. It's sent back to center here where it's picked up by number 7, Nico Stark. It's going to be thrown up the ice, but offsides. Ahead of the play was number 8, Connor Wilson. So we have a neutral zone face-off now with 11:02 in the first period. It's going to be brought all the way back to the Pens side of the neutral zone. Connor Wilson steps in. He's going to win that cleanly back to number 7, Nico Stark. Stark on here with number 4, Wyatt Frankenfield. He goes to Wyatt. Wyatt's having possession of the puck here. He's going to throw it back behind his net. Backhands it over to his D partner, Stark. Stark's going to move it up to his winger, number 12, Owen Mulligan. He has that knocked off his stick. Sticks with it, though. Sends it right back into the neutral zone. It's going to be knocked off of a stick blade by number 22 for the Eagles. But Johnny on the spot is Owen Mulligan. He's going to pick it up. He stops up on the goal line. He surveys some options. On to help out was number 3, Sawyer Phillips. Loses control of that puck. It's going to be picked off by 93, Riker Ferguson. He goes down the center through the slot, takes a shot, blockered away by the Junior Eagles netminder as the Pens change their D behind the play. Puck battle here on the near wall. It's going to be sent behind the net where the Eagles defender is going to throw it up the boards where Noah Welch is going to pinch down and keep that in. Covering back nicely was Blake Parrish. He's going to throw it through the slot, and it's going to be picked up by an Eagles defender, throws it up to the wing. Ferguson, though, is able to pick that puck off and throw it right back into the Pens' offensive zone. He goes for a change. Welch is over to try and keep this puck in. He's going to move it over to Nenevisa. Nenevisa is going to send it right over to his centerman, Connor Wilson. Welch is going to join the rush here. He's going to bring it in. He loses the puck, though, as he was trying to get in the zone. Connor Wilson now has that puck. He's looking for an option. He's going to throw it back to Welch. Welch is going to throw this up off the wall and into the offensive zone. The Pens are making a change now. Brooks Gaworski is going to apply some pressure. Easton Borman nicely keeps that puck in. He moves it down the wall to Connor Wilson. Centering pass off the defender's stick for the Junior Eagles. It goes wide here, and they're going to dump it back into the Pens D zone. And they are charging back for it. Icing's going to be waved off here. Stark's unable to corral that puck, but he gets it back, sends it over to 43, Grant Loya, as he battles Hogan. And it's going to be thrown behind netminder Dragasic and up the wall by Stark. It's going to be sent right back in by the Junior Eagles. As we got a couple bodies flying, a couple sticks flying. That's the stick of Brooks Gaworski, who goes over and picks that up. As it's going to be Connor Wilson who picks it up behind the net. Throws it through the high slot. It's going to be picked off by the Junior Eagles. Dangerous situation, but cleaned up nicely by Brooks Gaworski. He's going to send it back down in the Pens O-zone and go for a change here. Puck's going to be sent over to Nico Stark. Stark now picks it up. He's going to send it over to Welch. Welch is going to take that behind his net. Man with speed's chasing him. He reverses it back nicely to Stark. Stark's going to send it up the wall, held in by the point man for the Eagles. Ferguson's going to pick it up, though. That's going to be kicked right back down as Stark's able to force that up and back into the neutral zone. Defender number 9 stops up. Stick handles in a phone booth. He's going to try Noah Welch now. Welch is going to force him to the outside. Sticked away by Dragasic. Welch is going to come out of there with that puck. Throws it up to Sawyer Phillips and right back down where Welch is going to pick it up, and he's going to go over to Nico Stark. Stark picks it up. Gets his head up. Mulligan, though, fell down. They're going to say it deflects off of him, so no icing is going to be called. And it's going to be Sawyer Phillips that's in on the forecheck here as it's going to come back to center. That's going to be number 8, Connor Wilson. He throws a nice pass up to Sawyer Phillips. Phillips dumps it in. He goes for a change now. So the Pens being disciplined with their changes here in the first period. 7:24 to go live from Buffalo, New York. The Riverworks where Welch is now. He's going to curl around the guy. He backhands it up off the wall over the stick of Wilson. And Wilson's going to go in on the forecheck, joined by Bingham Green and Blake Paris. It's going to come out to the stick of number 77, C.J. Nenevisa, who curls around. He throws it up off the wall. It's going to be sticked down by Paris over to number 19, Bingham Green. He's run into, sealed off on the half wall. Paris is now working on his man. It's in the feet of Bingham Green and now in the feet of Blake Paris. Paris finds it momentarily, but it's going to be thrown up off the wall. Referees are going to say once again that this was deflected, so no icing as 43 Grant Loy goes back for that. And nice stick lift there by Blake Parrish. He's able to come out of there with that puck. Man behind the play. Grant Loya runs into that man, who's able to come out of there with the puck. 37 centers it. Had a teammate in front. It's going to be broken up by Bingham Green. Connor Wilson trying to get it out of the zone. It's going to be followed up there by Nenevisa. Runs into number 44 of the Junior Eagles. And it's going to be sent back to center. And it's going to be 2 Penguins going back for the puck. It was Loya and Wilson. And it's the Eagles that come out of that. It's going to be thrown right behind Dragasic. Nenevisa is going to reverse it back to Loya. Loya up to the right winger, 45, Brooks Gaworski. And it's going to be Gaworski throws a centering pass. Nobody was home, though. The Pens were making a change. Borman is on now, pressuring with Ferguson. Long shot taken by Stark. Stick down in front by Gaworski. And now Borman has it behind the net. He may have something here. He's looking for an option. A lot of snow already on the ice. As Borman runs into a guy, it's going to be held in the zone by Wyatt Frankenfield, but it's going to be pulled out with some speed by the Junior Eagles. Sealed off on the wall as Nico Stark's going to throw it Try to throw it behind the net. It goes into the equipment. Oh, just wide of the net. Into the equipment momentarily. Dragus came loose. And the Junior Eagles actually stick that wide. Dangerous situation there. As Stark's now going to throw it behind Dragosic. And over to get to that puck is Frankenfield and Ferguson. Big boy here for the Junior Eagles. Number 3 is on to pursue that puck. Penn's having a little trouble getting out of their zone here on this shift. As their D-man, 97, pinches down backhand, saucer pass through the slot, broken up by Frankenfield. He loses his footing now. Shot taken off the elbow of Ferguson. He goes down now. Diving attempt to get that puck out by number 74, Easton Borman. Long shot taken. Good save there by Dragosic. Forced it wide of the net as Gaworski here on the half wall, unable to clear the zone. His fork jumps into that as he goes right over the glove side of Dragosic. The Pens backed off, and number 4 who's coming down the wall. And it's in the back of the net here for an early 1-0 lead for the Boston Junior Eagles with 4:18 on the clock. Going to be forced in deep now as the ensuing faceoff is CJ Nunavisa is going to go back and get to that puck. As Sabo, number 22, and Owen Mulligan battle now here on the far wall. It's going to be Phillips that comes out of there with it. Nunavisa is going to join the rush here with Sawyer Phillips. He stops up. He's looking for a path to move this puck. Tries to go through the slot. It's going to be picked off by 22. He's going to try Welch here. He's coming through the neutral zone with some speed. He stops up. Long shot taken. Glove down nicely by Dragosic. So we're going to have a D-zone draw here. 1-0 score early in the game here as we approach the later stages of the first period. 3:38 now on the clock. Riker, Ferguson, Blake Paris, Bingham Green, the forward group. And Nunavisa and Welch on the backside. It's going to be a light backhand pass through the slot where it's going to be forced now behind the goal line. Nunavisa is going to go back. He's going to send it over to his deep partner. That's Noah Welch. Welch up to Paris. Paris unable to get it further, though. It's going to be dumped back behind the net to Nunavisa. Nunavisa is going to reverse it over to number 93, Riker Ferguson. Right back up to Paris. Paris is trying to chip it up to the blue line. It's going to be thrown right back in, though, as CJ Nunavisa goes right back for that puck. He's going to be run into by a man. He has his stick held momentarily. And it's going to come out to the high slot now. It's going to be knocked out, not out of the zone, but CJ Nunavisa is able to take the heat out of a hot kitchen as the Boston Junior Eagles have had a lot of zone time. Man dances around Nunavisa. Nunavisa sticks with him, though, is able to steal that puck. Good play by CJ. Sticking with that right winger as Ferguson now has it. He's looking for an option. He's going to send it along the boards to Welch. Welch is going to backhand it up to Gaworski. Gaworski over to Ferguson. Knocked off a Ferguson stick. A lot of pressure here being applied by the Junior Eagles in the Pens D zone. 2:25 now to go in the first period. Welch is going to step up into that puck, and he's going to skate away from danger as he uses the net as a shield. He reverses back. He's going to move it up to Blake Paris now. As Paris is able to get it back to center and back into the offensive zone. A lot of tired bodies, though, on the ice for the Pens. They're going to make a change behind the play. 45, Gaworski moves it to Connor Wilson as he's going to step through. But offsides is the call. Faceoff's going to be one back to number 43. Grant Lloyd is going to sail it through the neutral zone onto the stick of a Eagles defender, but puck battle along the near wall here, down the half wall as a Penguin forward is knocked down. I believe that was 45. Brooks Gaworski it was. Lloyd is going to send it right back down to Gaworski. As the play is going to continue here late in the first period, 1:23 now to go on the clock. Coming to you live from the Buffalo Riverworks, first game of the Buffalo Cup 2025 edition, featuring 30 of the top teams in the region. As Grant Loya now is battling behind goaltender Dragosic. He's going to force it up off the wall. As Gawarski runs into a man held in nicely by the point. It's going to be thrown behind the net as Starks tripped up, nothing called. Number 3 got his stick into the skates of Nico there momentarily. It's going to be sent all the way down the ice. Icing's going to be the call. So with 52.1 now on the first period clock, Pens have a D-zone draw coming up to the left of Max Dragosic. Ferguson's going to take this face-off along with Mulligan and Phillips as the forwards, Frankenfield and Welch on the backside here. Face-off's going to be won cleanly back by the Junior Eagles. It's going to be into the gloves of Frankenfield. And it's going to be sent now behind the net. Frankenfield picks it up. As he tries to move it along, he seals off his man. It's going to be sent over from Ferguson to Welch. Welch is now going to try to get that to Mulligan. As it now comes into the high slot, Junior Eagles player has it forced up the puck nicely by Phillips. Welch now picks it up. He's going to reverse behind the net. As he's going to use some skating here to create a little space. He's going to send it up to Sora Phillips. And up through the neutral zone. As we got a snowplow going behind me right now. That's what that noise is, as the Pens are going to have another offsides call. Before we go here in the first period. As it's going to be one back to Frankenfield. Frankenfield over to Welch. 5 seconds to go. Welch has that puck pass picked off as the player's going to try and wide. And that's going to be the end of the first period with 1-0 is the score from the first game of the 2015 Buffalo Cup. Here from the Riverworks and Buffalo, New York. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back with second period action in a moment. All right, second period about to get underway here as Riker Ferguson steps in for the draw. It's going to be one back by the Eagles to defender number 2. It's going to be thrown back into the Pens D zone behind net of Isa as dump and chase game going on. Big save by Dragosic as a beautiful centering pass there by the Junior Eagles winger. Gets all the way across, and Max is able to get from post to post. 14 seconds into the second period with a big save to keep the score 1-0 Junior Eagles. Penguins maybe still looking for their first shot of the game today. As they look to get going here as Grant Loya. A lot of snow here behind netminder Dragosic on that side. As Bingham Green's going to force it back into the neutral zone now. It's going to be sent over to the stick of Grant Loya. He's going to reverse back, gets the wheels going as he tries to hit Bingham Green with it. It's now in the skates of Bingham Green. It's going to pressure the Junior Eagles defender. It's going to be sent back to the point here. Long shot taken. First shot, I believe, of the game is going to find netminder number 30 for the Boston Junior Eagles. So offensive zone face-off coming up for your 2015 Pittsburgh Penguins Elite. 11-11 on the clock. Connor Wilson on to take the draw, flanked by Easton Borman and Brooks Gawarski on the backside. Number 4, Wyatt Frankenfield. Number 7, Nico Stark. Puck is dropped as it's going to be contested here and thrown behind the netminder by the Junior Eagles defender all the way up the boards as Nico Stark hustles over to keep that in. Still held in there as it's right in front of the Penguins bench, and it's going to be thrown across by Stark, picked off by number 3. Large winger for the Junior Eagles, sends it behind Dragicic. Stark's going to send it looking for Gaworski, picked off by number 3, though. Finds the stick now of Easton Borman. Is going to hustle back to center. He continues to get his feet moving as he takes a stick off the hands. And it's going to be sent right back into the neutral zone. Nico Stark tried to go over to Gaworski, but it's picked off again by number 3. Frankenfield gets back to contest number 3. Stark now has it on the near wall. He's knocked down. As it's brought back to center by Connor Wilson. He's going to be sealed off here. He's coming in 1-on-3 right now. He's pulled down. It's going to be the first power play of the game for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Connor Wilson creating something with some hustle, trying to get the feet moving. Getting some momentum going here. So the Pens going to the power play. 10:09 to go in the second period. Offensive zone faceoff to be taken by 93 Riker Ferguson, on with Mulligan and Sawyer Phillips on the backside. It is CJ Nenavisa and Noah Welch. It's going to be won by the Junior Eagles. Who are going to send it up off the wall, held in by Welch. Welch is going to dump it right back down as Sawyer Phillips is now going to go to work for this puck. He's going to steal his man off, but it's Riker Ferguson that's able to come out of that fray with the puck. He's looking for an option now. As 4 is going to bring it back for the Junior Eagles back to center. It's going to be dumped into the Penguin zone. As Welch is going to force his man behind Dragicic and sealed off now by Ferguson. Thrown behind netminder Dragicic, though. It's going to be picked up by Nenavisa. He's going to reverse behind the net right into the snow. Ton of snow as Welch now has this puck. He's going to throw it back to center. Goes over the stick of Ferguson and brought right back into the Pens D zone. And it stops up actually behind the net. Welch is going to take a long pass up to Mulligan. As Ferguson's going to reverse back behind the net. Pens trying some long passes here. Cutting up in the snow. Long pass up ahead to Sawyer Phillips. No icing here on the play. Phillips gets to that puck. 54 seconds to go in the power play as Sawyer Phillips now has it. Penn's able to complete a line change. Phillips is going to cycle this down below the goal line to Wilson. Number 8, Penguins centerman's going to leave it for defenseman number 43, Grant Loy. He comes in, strong backhand, still loose. Referee says, my bad there, as he lost sight of the puck as it was still loose. He blows a whistle as the Pens had something going. 8:46 now to go in the second period. Another offensive zone faceoff. 38 to go on the power play. That's going to be centerman number 8, Connor Wilson, on to take the draw, flanked by 25, Blake Paris. And number 19, Bingham Green. On the backside, Nico Stark, and 43, Grant Loya. Puck's going to be brought behind the net by Blake Paris. Leaves it for Connor Wilson. Tried to go through the seam to Bingham Green. Backhand shot. Wasn't able to get a lot on that. It's going to sail up into the equipment of netminder number 30. Another offensive zone faceoff. 26 seconds here. Penn's able to generate some offense here in the second period. As it's going to be one back to Bingham Green. Thought about going over to Stark. He takes a shot himself. Sails it into netminder number 30. Another offensive zone faceoff. 20 to go now on the Penguin power play. Penn's getting some shots on net here. As the Junior Eagles are going to win this faceoff back behind their own net. They're going to go D to D as it's going to be picked off by Connor Wilson. Tries to send it through the slot to Bingham Green. As number 2 slaps it up off the wall, held in nicely by Grant Loya. It's onto the stick of Bingham Green. He dances around the guy, leaves it for Wilson. Wilson tries to thread the needle over to Paris. Comes to the stick of Nico Stark. Long shot taken, finds the stick of Connor Wilson. Just shoots it wide of the net. We're back to 5-on-5 action here as the power play ends, but he finds the stick of Blake Paris. Sails it just over the crossbar. Connor Wilson trying to put it in. It's loose. Squirts out the other side to the stick of Blake Paris. Pens have a lot of momentum here thanks to a bunch of shots on that power play. Paris goes all the way around the net. Still in his equipment. It's in his skates now as Wyatt Frankenfield, freshly on the bench, is going to dump this deeper into the zone. Gaworski tries to go to work. Pens making a change here as Easton Borman's going to pull it to the center of the ice. It finds a stick now of Riker Ferguson. Ferguson now has it behind the net. 7:27 to go in the second period. Ferguson power move just off the right skate of the Junior Eagles netminder, right back to the point of where Frankenfield has it. It's going to be picked off, though. Long shot taken into the glove of netminder number 30. A flurry of shots here by the Pens Elite squad. Got 7 or 8 there in that sequence. But the score remains 1-0 Boston Junior Eagles. 7:12 to go. Riker Ferguson now steps in. He's going to win this back to Welch. Welch has it. He's going to try to move this over to Ferguson. Hops over a stick. As the Junior Eagles are going to take this back into the Pens D zone. They lose possession, though. It's going to be an offsides call. Pens are going to make a change. Junior Eagles looking for an explanation on that offsides call, I believe. Official wanted to explain something else to his counterpart. Thanks, everybody, for joining us live on Cine TV for Game 1 of the 2025 Buffalo Cup. Still have some more confusion as one of the officials now is actually leaving this rink and going to the rink right next door as Sawyer Phillips takes a long shot that's going to be gloved down into the midsection. This Riverworks facility has 2 rinks, caddy corner. Now that official's back saying that there is an official on the other rink. So we're back to 2 officials. Par for what's been occurring. The Pens initially were going to play this game on the other rink in different locker rooms, had to change up right before the game. As a big save there by Dragosic to keep the score 1-0, 6:38 to go in the second period. As CJ Nenevais is trying to work this up to the Pens offensive zone, and it does, as Owen Mulligan's now going to pick it up. He has a little speed. He's going to take behind the net. He's forced into the wall. On to help out was Connor Wilson. Mulligan tried to go back to Wilson as covering the point was number 3, Sawyer Phillips. He's going to work it back down the wall now. Unable to keep that puck in his possession, though, as the Junior Eagles force it back to center. It's going to be picked off by Loya momentarily, forcing an offsides call. 6:09 to go now in the second period. Pens making a change now. All right, neutral zone faceoff is going to be possessed by the Junior Eagles. Who are going to try to carry it in. Their D-man's going to take it wide, throw it behind the net. Back to go and get this puck is Wyatt Frankenfield. 5:55 now to go in the second period as we approach the midpoint of this game, or we're at the midpoint of this opening game of the Buffalo Cup tournament. As it's going to be centerman number 93, Riker Ferguson, that's going to come out of there with that puck. He's going to be run into. He goes down along with the man covering him. Bingham Green's going to knock it off the wall to himself. He's got somebody going with him, unable to get it up ahead. It was Blake Paris. May have had a lane. As it's going to be dumped down deep into the Pens D zone as Nico Stark now picks it up. He loses it in the snow. A lot of snow just accumulating behind goaltender Dragosic. As Riker Ferguson knocks it off. It looked like it went off the glove of a Junior Eagle. Play's going to continue. As it's going to be brought in by number 44 for the Junior Eagles. Sticked away nicely by Stark, who's thrown it up the wall, and it's going to be right back onto the stick of 44. Pad save by Dragosic as Nico Stark now picks it up behind his own net. He's going to move it up off the wall to number 19. That's Bingham Green. He goes around one guy. He has his pocket picked. Thrown right back deep by the Junior Eagles, and they're content with doing that down into that zone. as it's going to be sent all the way back down into the Pens offensive zone. Icing is the call. So we're going to go all the way back into the Pens D-zone. D-zone draw coming up to the left side of goaltender Dragosic. Wilson's the man to take this draw with number 45, Brooks Gaworski. And Easton Borman on the backside is Welch and Nenevisa. It's going to end up on the stick of Connor Wilson momentarily, as we're going to have another penalty call coming up as Connor Wilson draws his second penalty of the day. Pens are going to have an offensive zone faceoff coming up. 4:22 now to go in the second period. Wilson was trying to pull that puck around Dragosic, got hauled down. As Connor Wilson's going to step in, same lineup here for the Pens. It's going to be Easton Borman that comes out of there with the puck. Throws it back to the point. CJ Nenevisa has got a lot of time here. Shot taken. Goes on to the stick of Wilson. Deflects up over the net as Wilson tried to backhand it home. Was trying to go top shelf there. A little too much on it. Sails over the net as the Junior Eagles are able to bring this back to the neutral zone. Good back check by Connor Wilson. He dances around a couple of guys. Tried to go around a third guy. Unable to do so. As the Junior Eagles try to bring this further, it's going to be Connor Wilson again that gets to that puck. As he's going to fend off a man with a hand. He's going to bring it back to the point where Welch pinched down to keep this in. Welch is going to force it lower in his skates. As Wilson now has it, 1:09 to go in the power play for the Pens. Nenevisa is going to pinch down his wall now. As the Pens activating their D. As it's going to be Borman now that brings it behind the net. He reverses it back for Nenevisa down low. Nenevisa still has it. He's got plenty of time behind the net. He's looking for an option. He's got Borman. He's going to backhand it. Welch is going to take a long shot. And it's into the net! Brooksy Gaworski picks up the rebound, the loose change, and cashes it in. As we got a new game here. Brooks Gaworski. And it's 1-1 here from the Riverworks in Buffalo, New York. Gaworski able to pounce on that rebound and stick it right back into the net. And after a first period here where the Pens struggle to get some shots, they have a flurry of shots in the second period, completely flipping the script on the Junior Eagles. And it's a 1-1 game. Opening game of the Buffalo Cup is going to resume here late in the second period. 2:43 now on the clock. Owen Mulligan looking to continue the momentum. Spinorama move. It's passed from Phillips over to Ferguson. Big save there by netminder number 30 for the Junior Eagles, though. As the Pens looking to continue to apply some pressure, it's going to be sent over from Loya to his D partner, Nico Stark, and back into the neutral zone as the Pens get some momentum going off of a couple penalties drawn, I should say, by centerman number 8, Connor Wilson. As Phillips is going to send it all the way through. 2 minutes now to go on the clock. As the big winger for the Junior Eagles, number 3, is going to send it back into the Pens D zone, but it's going to be sent right back into the neutral zone. Now on that puck is Connor Wilson. Just ahead of the play was Bingham Green. And it's going to be an offsides neutral zone faceoff for the Pens as Connor Wilson is going to win this back cleanly to Frankenfield. Sends it up to Bingham Green. That's in his skates right now. Sent by Green over the stick of Paris. Paris is looking to get this into the Pens O-zone. Held in there by Welch. Kicked out of the zone by the Pens, by the Eagles D-man. Shot wide of the net as Frankenfield came over, and he's going to backhand this up to number 8, Connor Wilson. Wilson throws it ahead. Bingham Green going in one-on-one. He's going to try his man. Long shot's going to be gloved down. 1:15 to go in the second period. Puck's going to be one back. Long sailing shot by 43. Grant Loy is going to go up the wall now as CJ Nanavisa, number 77, is going to go back and collect the mail. He's going to curl back on the bench side. He's going to try to hit Borman with that pass, unable to do so as the Junior Eagles going to bring it right back down the wall. Riker Ferguson's going to come out of there. As the snow's flying in his skates, he's going to lose that puck in the snow as Grant Loy is going to move it over to Nanavisa. Puck once again is going to get caught in the snow here as the Junior Eagles now lose it. 30 seconds to go here in the second period. It's going to be brought back to center by Borman. It goes off his stick now as the Junior Eagles D-man is going to try and bring it in. Offsides is the call. Neutral zone faceoff, 22.3 now to go. Pens are going to change up their personnel as well. First game has been a tale of two periods so far. Pens unable to register a clean shot on goal in the first period. Come out with a flurry of probably 10 or 11 shots in the second period and get rewarded with a Brooks Gaworski goal as Frankenfield's going to send it behind his net as he connects with his D partner, Nico Stark. It's going to be fanned on by Mulligan on a clearing attempt, and the Junior Eagles going to center that into the slot. It's going to be pushed out wide by Sora Phillips, and that's going to be where things end here in the second period with a 1-1 score between the Boston Junior Eagles and the 2015 Pittsburgh Penguins Elite Squad. We will take a break and be back with third period action momentarily. Third period action set to begin. 15 minutes on the third period clock. Connor Wilson steps in for the draw. He's going to win it over to Sora Phillips. And it's going to be poked right back to the defenseman, Nico Stark. He's going to force it up to Connor Wilson. He's going to enter the zone. Long shot blocked away by netminder number 30. So let's see if the Pens can capitalize on all the snow now behind the Eagles net to reverse course. As Frankenfield runs into his man, number 3. It's going to be dumped back into the Pens D zone. Nico Stark's going to be on his horse to go back and get this puck. He's going to reverse back behind Dragosic. Loses this puck, though, to 22. 22 is going to center this pass. Goes all the way back up to his D-man. Dumped right back into the zone. Connor Wilson's going to seal off his man. He's going to come out of there with puck possession. Tries to work it again to Sora Phillips. Blocker down by Dragosic. Alert save there by Max. Wilson trying to pressure this puck again as Wyatt Frankenfield comes over to help out. It's going to be Wilson that leaves a saucer pass to Mulligan. He's unable to corral this puck. Mulligan's going to try to collect that puck, but it's going to go back into the Pens D zone where Nico Stark goes back to collect. He's going to go D to D over the stick of Frankenfield to the high slot now as the Pens are chasing number 9. Shot blocked by Ferguson, who took a shot off the elbow earlier in the game. Now it looks like he got that one in the back of the shin. Frankenfield's going to send this down the ice, but it's going to go off the netminder here. So icing is going to be waved off as Ferguson is feeling that one here in the cold as he's going to work his way to the bench. Offensive zone faceoff now. 13:27 to go in the third period. Connor Wilson steps in, flanked by Bingham Green and Blake Parrish on the backside. Nenevesta and Welch. Bingham Green stepped down to get to that puck. As it's going to go back behind the Pens goal line here. As Welch is going to reverse this back to Nenevesta. Nenevesta up to Green, back into the neutral zone. Foot race here as Connor Wilson's got some speed. It's going to be sealed off by the Junior Eagles. Loses his puck in the snow as the Junior Eagles are going to try and work this up. And do so as Bingham Green, good back check, is able to hold this in the zone momentarily. And it's going to be Blake Parrish who tries to pick the pocket of the Eagles player, but it's CJ Nenevista that gets to that puck. Eagles may have too many guys on the ice here. Nothing called as Bingham Green's going to try to bring this further down the half wall. It's still sitting at the blue line where Easton Borman's trying to keep it in. Borman's trying to send it over to Welch. It goes back into the neutral zone. It's going to be dumped in now. And right back up where Welch is going to try and pinch over. He runs into his man to hold him off that puck. It's going to be sent back as Brooks Jaworski's going to try and race to that puck. He's going to be caught in the zone here as the Junior Eagles going to try to take this wide on Nenevista. Nenevista is going to stick with this guy, number 22. Off of the blocker cleanly by Dragosic. Phillips is going to force this back up to Jaworski. Jaworski's going to bring it back to Phillips. Right back up to Jaworski. And puck's going to be possessed now by the Junior Eagles. They're going to try and go wide. It's going to hop in behind that minor Dragosic. Sorry, Phillips is going to go back and pursue it. He's going to stick it up the wall to Jaworski. And Phillips now has it. He's looking for an option. Goes off the stick of Borman to Nenevista. He's going to dump this in smartly. He's going to go to the bench for a change, though. As Jaworski's going to be the man that applies some pressure. Goes to the stick cleanly of Connor Wilson. Tries a centering pass just in the slot. It's another centering pass through the legs of Blake Parrish. As he was handcuffed a little bit. As it goes right back into the Pens' offensive zone. We've got a man ahead of the play, though. And offsides is going to be the call. 11:10 to go in the third period. After a tale of two periods with the Pens dominating the second period and the Eagles the first period, it's a little more even in the third. Back and forth action as Blake Parrish now brings it in. Long shot taken. Blocker saved there by netminder number 30. As it's coming high into the Penguin zone. It's going to be held in now. Hustling over to get to that puck was Owen Mulligan. It's going to be caught into the snow behind the Eagles net. And high in the slot, comes out of the zone now as Nico Stark and Grant Loy are going to race back to this puck. It's going to be Stark that's going to move it over to his D partner, number 43, Grant Loy. Is going to circle around, creating some space as the Eagles complete a line change. And Nico Stark now moves it up to try to hit Owen Mulligan. It's going to come instead to Connor Wilson. Tries a curl and drag move that goes behind the net where he's going to apply some pressure. Still in the Pens offensive zone. Freshly on the ice is Bingham Green. He's going to move it over to his winger. That's Easton Borman. He's going to try to take his man wide. Shot taken. It's loose. Still loose, but it's going to be covered up now, and a whistle is going to be blown by the official. With 10:05 to go, the Pens have another offensive zone face-off. Here from the outdoors venue of the Riverworks in Buffalo, New York. Sawyer Phillips steps in to take this face-off. As the Junior Eagles player is going to pick up some speed, he's able to get around one guy. He's going to try Frankenfield now. He's going outside of him. He's going to throw it behind the net as Easton Borman's going to be over to pick up this puck. It's going to be helped along by Phillips into the offensive zone. It's going to be Bingham Green that goes in on pursuit. It's going to be sticked over to the near wall. as the Junior Eagles are able to force this back to center. D-to-D attempt here as Welch is going to chip this right up to Borman. He dances around a guy. He has something. He's got Bingham Green shot taken wide of the net. Beautiful feed by Easton Borman there. Penn's dangerous situation as they're playing this puck in front of their net. It's going to be through the feet of Frankenfield. Walsh is going to go back and get to this puck as he's got a man pressuring him. He's going to reverse it back to Frankenfield. But it's going to be Connor Wilson that steps in to help out that puck as Welch is going to have to go to work here behind his net as he evades a man again. Good skating there by the Penn's D-man. He's going to backhand it cleanly up to Gaworski. Gaworski tries to work it forward, but it's going to come right back to the stick of number 14, Noah Welch. He's going to send it off the equipment of the Eagles player, and it's going to find Brooks Gaworski. He's going to try and force it further up to Connor Wilson. He's got a step, but it's going to go right into that big snow pile and chipped up to Grant Loya. He's going to take it down the wall. He runs into a guy. It's high in the slot right now, hustling over to get to that puck goes Blake Parrish, keeping it in. 8:22 now to go in the third period. Tie game 1-1 between the Junior Eagles and your Penn's Elite squad. Hops over the stick of Nenavisa. Nenavisa is going to throw it behind Dragosic to his D partner. Grant Loya is going to reverse back. Grant Loya is going to send it to his winger. It's Blake Parrish. He's going to chip it up to Brooks Gaworski. The goal scorer here for the Pens, number 45, who cashed in the second period to tie the game. Now has it on his stick, loses it. Blake Parrish able to force this back into the Pens, deep into the Pens offensive zone behind netminder number 30. As it's going to be brought right back into the center as the Pens are going to have a hooking penalty here as Loya got a stick into number 27, or correction, number 37, who is coming in with some speed. So the Pens going to have some adversity here, killing off a penalty, third period action, halfway point, 7:39 to go. As Wyatt Frankenfield and Nico Stark are going to complete the D pairing, and Bingham Green and Owen Mulligan going to be the forward group. 22 is going to step in for the Junior Eagles. He wins it cleanly back to his D-man, as that's going to be Jones. He's going to send it right to the tape of Nico Stark. He's going to be run into, though, by 44 of the Junior Eagles. He's going to try and reverse it over to the near wall. Bingham Green tries to take a man. As the Pens are backing off here, it's still loose in front, as Dragosic is going to cover it up. As big winger for the Junior Eagles, number 3, is going to be knocked to the ice. And a D-zone draw coming up. 1:39 to go on that penalty call to Grant Loya. Brooks Gaworski now on to take this draw with Easton Borman on the backside. Welch and Nenavisa. Welch is going to come over to play this puck. He plays it behind the net. Hard off the wall up to Easton Borman. Up out of the zone. It's Brooks Gaworski. He's going to try the defense here and apply some pressure. He comes out of there with that puck. Shot taken and goes behind the net, though. Gets held up in the snowbank as Borman's going to apply some pressure. Going to come back into the neutral zone. Nenavisa has it. Nenavisa is going to curl back. Curls back again. He's going to throw it behind the net where it goes to Welch. Welch is going to chip it up to Borman. Borman up off the wall. Back into the Pens offensive zone. Gaworski is going to force this to himself. Still has that puck. Brooks Gaworski almost creates a chance there, shorthanded. 54 now to go on the penalty to Grant Loya. Over the stick of Stark, though, as the 2-on-1 develops, as Wyatt Frankenfield is going to come over. Hustling back as Stark is going to be tipped just wide of the net. Nice setup there by the Junior Eagles player, unable to connect with that. Wyatt Frankenfield's going to lose his stick. It's going to be shot in front. Big save by Dragosic. Second save, still loose. Third save, bodies flying everywhere. It's going to be knocked wide of the net. As Gaworski's going to send this to the point man. As Frankenfield does not have a stick, it's going to come to the stick of Nico Stark. Wyatt's going to try and kick this up to Gaworski. Gaworski's going to just airmail this back to center. 7 seconds to go as the Eagles come right back in. Number 22 is going to try and move around Stark. It's in his equipment. As good to see number 93, Riker Ferguson, back on the ice. Joining the rush now. They got Loya up ahead. Try to hit Loya. He's going to be a little bit ahead of the play, though, and offsides. 5:31 now to go. The Pens successfully kill off their first penalty against, as the puck's going to be deflected up into the bench area for another neutral zone faceoff. Puck's going to find the stick and end of ice, and end of ice is going to move it up to his winger. It's Blake Paris over a couple of sticks, as Welch is going to come over and deflect this off of the Eagles player. Paris is going to move it ahead to Riker Ferguson. It's going to find the stick of Welch, who is going to regroup in the neutral zone. Welch is going to move it up to Nen of Ice, and Nen of Ice is going to try to go back to a winger. It does so. It's Blake Paris. Heavy shot, glove down. Snow actually popped out of the goalie's glove there, as the Pens are going to make a change. Offensive zone faceoff, 4:53 to go now. Connor Wilson steps in to take this faceoff. He's going to be waved out, as official doesn't feel like dropping this puck right now. It's going to be worked around to the near wall. And it's still going to be knocked high into the slot, as Loya came over to hold the puck in, but it's going to find the stick of Grant Loya eventually in the neutral zone and sent over to left winger Owen Mulligan. He's going to have his pocket picked, and it finds Nico Stark. He's going to backhand it onto the stick of an Eagles player. 22 is going to try and work around Grant Loya. And it's Connor Wilson coming back from his center position as it goes under the stick of Mulligan. 4:11 now to go in the third period, as Eagles are going to try and work this around. Nico Stark seals off his man, as it's going to be backhanded off the net, as we are under 4 minutes to go in the third period, opening game of the 2025 Buffalo Cup. Stark's going to try and send this to his D partner. It's Grant Loya. Loya shoots it off the skates of the Eagles number 37 back up into the neutral zone, as it finds Brooks Gaworski. He's looking for a second of the game. Off the glove of the netminder. He had a cloud of snow, didn't have the puck though, as it's going to be dumped back in, where Noah Welch is going to go back and collect this puck. He's going to stop up and reverse his course. He dances around a couple guys, finds Easton Borman. Borman sends this up into the neutral zone, but it finds the stick of 44. He's going to dump it in deep and go to work, as it's behind the net, where Connor Wilson is going to contest. He banks this off the boards to himself. He's got Gaworski up ahead. He's going to send it over to Borman. He's going to carry it in. He's got a little bit of time. He tries to dance around a couple guys. A lot of snow on the ice, though, as the Eagles player is going to try Welch. Welch is going to stop him up. At long shot taken off of the pad of Dragosic, as Wilson is going to bring it back to center. Brooks Gaworski now has it. 2:38 now to go in the third period. Finds Easton Borman. He's pulled down. Borman's going to send it back to Wilson. Where Borman is going to send it now back into the snow pile. It's up off the wall. It's going to find the stick of Noah Welch. Welch is going to walk off that wall. He's going to send it right back down into that snow pile, where it finds the stick of Riker Ferguson. Now he reverses back. He's looking for a man. He's going to try to leave it for Loya, but jumping up onto that play was 44. He runs into Ferguson. It's going to be Loya that tries to get the motor going. 1:55 now to go. Bingham Green's going to take it in. Long shot taken. Pad off the pad. Still loose. And the whistle's going to be blown here, as Grant Loya was looking for a rebound. 1:47 now to go in the third period. Offensive zone faceoff is going to be controlled by the Junior Eagles. It's going to send all the way down the ice. 1:38 now to go. Icing is the call. Another offensive zone faceoff coming up for your 2015 Pittsburgh Penguins Elite Squad. Connor Wilson steps in to take this faceoff, flanked by Mulligan and Phillips on the backside. Loya and Nenavisa. Stepping down the wall is Mulligan, but the Eagles try and reverse this behind the net. Stuck in the snow, 1:27 now to go in the third period. Phillips is going to find this puck. Good power move by Phillips. Still in the snow now. It's just going to be buried by the Eagles, who look content to just kick this against the wall. As an Eagles player is just laying on it. Finally, the whistle's going to be blown. After about 20-some seconds, it ticked off the clock. 1:06 now to go. Wilson's going to step in and take this draw. Stuck in the snowplow once again as we are under 1 minute to go here in the third period. Tough conditions here as Owen Mulligan's looking to force this into the slot. It does go into the slot, but it's going to be brought back out of the zone by the Eagles winger. It's going to force it back behind Nenavisa, and Nenavisa on the chase. 39 to go as the Pens looking for possession as Connor Wilson gets to that puck. Knocked off his stick. Following this up, though, is Grant Loya. Up to Wilson. 29 to go in the third period. Wilson's going to take it in. Long shot taken. Goes right back into that snowdrift. 20 seconds now to go. Backhanded across the crease. Nenavisa follows on. Centering attempt. As it's going to be sent all the way back down the ice. And icing is going to be the call with 5.9 to go on the clock. Dragicic hits to the bench for this offensive zone draw late in the game. 1-1 the score. Pens have a 6-on-5 advantage. Extra man on here. Connor Wilson steps in. Wilson has Ferguson in a shooting position here in the slot. On with Gaworski, Borman, Nenavisa, and Loya. Puck's going to be sent through the slot, wide of the net, and that's where things are going to end as a flurry of action develops, but it's going to be too late as the clock hits double zeros. And it looks like the opening game of the Buffalo Cup is going to be a 1-1 draw. A tie game between the Boston Junior Eagles and your Pittsburgh Penguins Elite Squad. So be sure to follow the action tomorrow as the Pens have a game against Mid-Fairfield at 7:15 live on Cine TV. And we'll see you. Thanks for joining us here today. 1-1's the final between the Junior Eagles and the 2015 Pittsburgh Penguins Elite Nenavisa squad.